Hey there, welcome to a brand new episode of Muzikxpress. My name is Twan and in this week's vlog you will see my interview with Orlando Voorn about the format classic Solid Session. But before we start with the interview, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and very important, also make sure to click the bell button because then you will get a notification the next time a new vlog is online. Alright, here it is, the story behind format and Solid Session, my interview with Orlando Voorn. Enjoy! Orlando Voorn is a Dutch DJ and producer who is known for releases under project names such as Balance, Fix, The Nighttripper, Frequency, Playboy, Designer Loops, Ghetto Brothers and many others. In 1991 he released an EP called Number 1 under the project name Format. One of the tracks on that EP was called Solid Session and that one became a big classic. These days Orlando lives in the US, but during a recent visit to the Netherlands, I had a chance to sit down with him for 2 interviews. In this week's vlog you will see the first interview in which I asked Orlando about the story behind Solid Session. My first question to him was how old he was when he started to listen to music.
When I was super little, probably when I was like 2 years old, maybe. My dad would give me all my 12 inch, of not 12 inch, but little singles, 7 inches of any kind. And I would all told my dad, put it on, put it on the turntable. So it started really early.
Yeah. And do you remember some of the bands or acts that you were listening to then?
Well, when I was a little later, I around 10 years old, I started to develop, listening to styles, different styles, rock and roll, symphonic rock. Rush was a big influence on me because I liked to play the drums. I was already playing drums at that time, and I was trying to study Neil Peart, the drummer of Rush, and I went to phases, reggae, later on disco, the early 80s, went to Rhythm Import. It was a little record shop in Amsterdam by Peter Dijk Sloot, and I was always hanging there listening to stuff and listening to the American import coming in to here, and it was always so special. So after I drummed a lot as well before I became DJ, because that was kind of the way it went with me. I started playing drums. I played in jazz combos. I actually had a teacher that teach me how to drum. He would like to teach me notes, but I couldn't read no notes. He said, "Oh, he's a natural. He can play. If he can look at what I do, he mimic it right away." So he got it in him. So he said it was not a real problem for me to not know the notes. And played in a jazz combo for a little bit. Then I started losing interest in the whole thing, and then the DJ thing came up. So I begged my dad for 2 turntables, Technics, and eventually he got me 2. So then I really started getting into that. Yeah.
And around what age did you start like producing music?
Producing music, I started around when I was, I believe, 17, 18, like that. It was 89, I think my first record came out. It was a rap record, Fixomatic, Heard and Bad. Mm-hmm. It was really released also. It's even sold for that time, like, was pretty good, the sales. But that was the first thing I did. Then I started, after that came Exit, was a project in a Belgian label, which I made with loops. I had a tape recorder at home and I made loops. I just stole all types of little loops here and there, and I make loops and loop it together, and it was just crazy. But they put it out and thought it was great. And then I met Dylan Hermelijn around that period. And it was when I was back from Mallorca. I played in Mallorca for three weeks with DJ. So I bought a Roland W30 in that period, which was a sequencer and a sampler in one. And I started making productions, but with little samples. So I started stealing little bass lines, and that was the first frequency project, but came out on Lower East Side Records. Dylan was the one that got me in contact with them, with Jeroen Vlamman and Abraxas at that time. And they ran that from their home. And so I went to contact with them, and from that point on, they released my first record, Hey Hey Hey, and put a nice little cover around it. I had 3 tracks on it and another track on the B-side. We mixed it out in, so I made that in a W30, but then I mixed it out in the studio with Michael Lara at that time. So it was a real nice little setup combination that we had. And the first single, I already had, very, very good response from outside of Holland, from England. They were putting me on number 1 in the list. Joey Belton was charging it. So I was like, oh, this is nice. So I kept on pursuing that, because my ex-wife at that time, she didn't like me to tour a lot. She didn't like me to go DJ. So I always had problems with the family life, and because I had kids and stuff. So I decided, you know what, I can do this. So I started, pumping out tracks.
Yeah.
And investing all monies that I could invest back into gear.
Yeah.
So that's how I slowly built up. So I had the W30. Then I bought an Oberheim Matrix 1000, which is a module, which I could sample from again. Then I had a little DX100, Yamaha DX100 that I heard that Derek May was using at that time, and I loved that sound that was in there, the FX sound. So I bought that, and that's where I find the solid bass. And now we go slowly coming to the solid session thing, because it was a solid bass. And I had heard records from Dimitri and Eric Nuhan at the time. They had a label called Best Records. It was very, very, very underground. It was very different. It was very, very unique, and I loved it. And they, Dimitri had probably a lot of the ideas, and Eric, he translated it in his thing. He had also the W30, but he had 2 of them. And they would go into the club, into Paradiso, and they would, they would actually try these tracks out live when nobody was there, to see how they sound big. Uh-huh. So that was a very inspiring label for me to make the solid session track. It was really a cross between them and what Derek May did at the time. And I thought I want to make something like that, but and then probably a little bit more flowing. And that's how I made Solid Session. I really started out, I think that record's been made in like 1.5 hours.
No way.
Yeah. It was real fast. I mean, it was just like I could just hear everything coming. And then, the source of the track was, of course, the mix down, because I produced everything at home. But I didn't have a mixer yet. I didn't have I just had the gear. So I took my gear to the studio. And then we go mix it up there. And then I was there, and I was, very actively with that process as well. So I told him, the kick needs to be bumping, and need some delays on the end, blah, blah, blah. And always a good relationship with Michael Lara. And when that was done, and the whole 12-inch was done, it was, the history is.
Yeah. So was it easy to find a label for the track?
Oh, yeah, very easy. I was already at that time I was busy with Buddhist, which was they ran ESP Records, Go Bang. That were the labels that were hot at the time. So I went to them, and they said it was really that time you went with your thing, your DAT or your tape. You went to the label. And then they sat down in front of some speakers, like listening to it. Oh, this people don't know, you know. That's how it worked. So, and then that they pressed it and put it out.
Yeah. So Solid Session is the most well-known track from the EP, but it was not the main track on the EP. The track Deep Sleep can be found on the A1 position, and Solid Session is track A2 on the record. What was the reason not to put Solid Session as A1?
Because I make music, it's a process according to a mood. It's not so. I'm not searching for a hit. I would never. I knew it was a good track, but I never would expect that it did that much, you know. And I guess that's with tracks that you make that you make quick.
Yeah.
Something that is simple and don't have to think about too long, and don't want to think about, because it's a short track.
Yeah.
It's a 4-minute something track. It's also in a particular key that you find other hit records in. So it's a certain happy key, makes people happy. Like because the first time I seen it, they played it. Dimitri played it the first time for me in the club that I didn't know that it was boom. It was in the club that burned down, Roxy.
Yeah.
The Roxy. He played it there, and I was like, wow, these people went nuts. And that's also why I met Blake Baxter at that time. You know, they called me up and said, well, what is your number one record at the moment? He said, One Solid Session for sure. So I went to meet him there, and we talked, and that's when I went to Detroit.
Yeah. So who else was supporting the track? Yeah, Dimitri was I think one of the first ones to play the track a lot.
Yeah, well, at that time Dimitri was first, and then soon people followed. You know, but it's like a little. Sometimes it takes a little longer for a record to break, especially with Fixed Flash, for instance. That took about a year. I didn't even think about it really too much, and then I heard that everybody had 2 copies in their. Yeah. So, and so sometimes it has to grow, but I think that record just started to go.
Yeah. Okay. So during the years, Solid Session got remixed by people such as DJ Misha, TFX, Leo Weld, Funkerman, and in 2022 the track got remixed by Rob Jansen, aka DJ Rob, and also Joris Voorn did a very cool remix. So the first question: Orlando Voorn, Joris Voorn, are you guys related?
Yeah, that's a question that everybody asks, but we can clearly see there's not.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's not the case.
Okay. So what was your personal favorite version of the track?
It's always going to be the original.
Yeah.
But I don't even like the original that much anymore.
Oh really? You got sick of it?
Well, I mean, I'm so much further production-wise.
Yeah.
And it's a good track. It's not a track that I put on and say, oh God, I can't hear it. It's a okay track for me. But it's I'm so much further production-wise. I did so much more music also, and but I do understand that record had a lot of positive influence on the scene.
Yeah.
And maybe also a little bit negative, where from a little bit of both. Because my whole meaning was to make a style which has the crossover feeling, but is still soulful.
Yeah.
That's for me the most important thing, that the record has soul.
Yeah. So is it your most successful release ever?
Together with some other ones, yeah. I had other one that was really successful in the jungle, Playboy. I was on many compilations with that one.
Yeah, Fixed Flash.
Muzikxpress.
Yeah.
Also, and then
The Nighttripper.
Nighttripper, Tone Exploitation, Future, Frequency Kisses Sky.
Yeah.
Then with Juan Atkins, Metroplex, the Game 1 is sold a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So yeah, back in 1991 when you made like a solid session, was music a full-time job for you already back then?
Yeah, it's been always been.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that I like. It's the only thing that I want to do. I had some unfortunate times also, and had to do a little job here and there. And I did that like a week or a week and a half, and that's it.
Yeah. So did you actually study something to become like, I don't know what?
No, music is my life.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
I'll sacrifice everything for music.
Yeah. Oh, good. So yeah, you're still very active with producing and releasing music these days. Can you tell us what you're working on right now?
Oh, I have many things out right now, coming out. There's an electro EP coming out on Trust. It's total electro. It's an underground label, Trust. Then I have on Damp Swindle's label, Heist. I have a new EP out, which is called Sound System. And there's tons of things coming out, really. There's one EP coming out, it's already out on Between the Surface, techno EP. And it's got really, really good reviews. Get really good support from all the heavy hitters. So I'm very pleased with how things are going. Beatport is filming my next gig in UK. So they also did an interview already and put it out there. So everybody's starting to see like, hey, this guy's doing a whole lot, and also different angles. I do what I like.
Yeah.
Nobody can tell me, oh, you are this or you are that, or you produced this or you produced that, or you have to do this because that's your hit. And I do what I like.
Yeah. So it's like funky and groovy stuff.
Funky, groovy stuff. It depends on my mood. If I'm angry, I can make an angry track.
Yeah.
And I can put my whole anger in that track. And but it still make it okay. Make it not make it like a bullshit thing. But I'm very critical. I'm mostly in competition with myself because I want to improve everything. So every production is a new, way look of things, how to improve little things, how to improve the mix, and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So are there still people you would like to work with or still want to work with?
Oh, yeah, as far as artists, oh God. Yeah, there's people I would like to work with, but it's a thing that a bit with production. It's a little bit of an ego thing also, because it's real hard to find the right people to do it with. But I would love to work with some Kenny Dope Gonzalez. I have contact with him. I send stuff to Lil Louis Vega. Those guys I look up to.
Yeah, the masters at work. Yeah.
Those are guys I look up to, and I learned tremendous lot from, mix-wise, producing-wise, sound-wise. And I might not have the same equipment that they do, but I know how to stand my ground in there. If the person downloads all your stuff that you send, even if they don't respond, they know that you do something good. Yeah. Otherwise, they won't download it in the first place.
Yeah.
So, but as far as a vocalist, I would love to do something with Kate Bush.
Oh, yes.
That's something that I would love to do. But she's mystical and she's unreachable, and it's but that's something. That's why I did also a remix of one of the tracks, and we bought it and we put it out as a bootleg, and it did really good. Yeah. That's I like mystic things, and I'm very impressed by some Dutch things that I heard. My friend played me yesterday some stuff from Steen, which is in a whole different corner, but she's more into the singing kind of rap kind of thing. But she had a piano player. It's called the Leven, And I heard that track and I thought, wow, this is really, really, really pretty. So, you know, I just get my inspiration from anything that comes in my way.
Yeah.
I'm not really searching for it because I don't have the time for it, because you only have so much time in the day, you know. And most of my time I create.
Yeah, yeah. So is there still something on your bucket list music-wise, besides working with Kate Bush? I don't think you really care for like a number one hit or, yeah.
No, that would be nice, but I'm not. You see, the thing is, when you search for that,
yeah,
it fails.
Yeah.
You have to do something that comes from your, you know, from the natural point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And if it works, then, and you really love what you do, that's all that matters to me. If I make something that I think is totally shit, you know, that it's so bad, but it just works because 1,000 people are just, you know, the simple souls that like that stuff, then I wouldn't be satisfied.
Yeah, yeah.
That would not satisfy me. And some people are more satisfied with money than they are with their craft, and they think, I don't give a fuck, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I will do anything. I'll put a fart on the record, and if it just sells, that's all I care for. That's not me. I mean, of course, everybody likes success. Success is great, but earned success, something that you are deserving to, and that you are proud of.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want to say. You have to be proud of it. Yeah, yeah. And the last question, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for your time and good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Alright, that was it. This week's vlog, my interview with Orlando Voorn and the story behind Solid Session by Format. Orlando, thank you very much for your time. Much appreciated. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the vlog. If you did, make sure to give this video a like, leave a comment in the comment section below, and very important, make sure to subscribe. Also make sure to click the bell button, because then you will get a notification the next time a new vlog is online. And I did another interview with Orlando, and in that one we're gonna talk about the track Flash, which he released under the project name Fix. That interview will be online in a couple of weeks, so stay tuned. Once again, thanks for watching, and until next time, bye bye.